Good evening and welcome to the Drive at 5 on intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station. I'm your host, Roman. We have a show for you today. Wanda is laughing at me already. I'm about to get into it. Uh, Please stay tuned to intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station for Warriors Talk with my girl, Rochelle. Okay, I got that out the bag. I got the introduction out the bag, and I got other stuff out the bag. I had a show planned today, and I just had to cancel the guests. I just had to get this off my chest, people. Intellectual family, I had to get this off my chest. I ranted and raved a couple of weeks ago, and I said this election was supposed to be about policy, but it was not. They turned it into race. And I hate that I was right. I hate it. I hate it to my bones. I hate it. This was not about when the analyst sits there and say, oh, the Democrats lost touch with the common man, the working man, and the working people out there. That's BS. Oh, the Democrats was lost touch with the people. That's BS too. Oh, it was all about the economy. That's BS. Oh, it's all about the so-called immigration. That's BS. About jobs, grocery stores, this, that, and the other. No, it was not. I told you a couple of weeks ago, and I said I hope I was wrong, but I was right. This was an ism vote. And you saying, what do I mean about an ism? An ism means what side you on. That's what happened in this election. It was an ism vote. It was a sexism vote. It was a blackism vote. It was against blackism vote. And there you have it. It was an ism vote. It was against Kamala Harris had 2 strikes against her. She was black and she was a woman. What do you think? Should we trust? And yes, I'm going to say somebody white to say, I'm going to allow a black woman to lead the free world. Let's think about that. You can tell by people's raging votes that said, oh, I got your vote. And the white husband basically said, you're not voting for her. You're not voting for her. And guess what these white women did? Well, since I can go against, my state, I can still vote for Trump. So I don't necessarily need her. It was an ism vote. When do you think, and we didn't have this conversation, would America vote for a black woman? All the analysts basically said, oh, Kamala, blah, 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 when Kamala was up there. But now, since she lost everything, and I'm hoping and praying we get the House, but that's not looking good for us. They're giving Trump a blank check. And what a blank check is, folks, if you're not familiar with the Constitution, whatever in the hell he wants to do. He's already talking about it. And I want to hear your thoughts too. He's already doing it. Let me tell you, folks, right now, major corporations are not giving their people Christmas bonuses. Because you know why? Because of the tariffs. They are preparing for what Trump is about to do. So they're getting as much inventory as humanly possible to stay afloat. So no present for Bobby or Susie. You should have thought about that, boy. You should have thought about that, Bob. You should have thought about that, Jose. You're sitting here on MSNBC. You're sitting there whining and complaining. They're going to deport Juan and Perez and Manuel. Well, you should have thought about that in a voting booth. It was all about the economy. No, it was not. You just didn't want to vote for a black woman to be the leader of the free world. That's plain and simple. Let me tell you why it's not about the economy. Because you know why? I know people who's not qualified and still got a job. I know people who have jobs that shouldn't have jobs, but they have jobs. That's one. Two, you say the prices of chicken and all of that stuff, they were price gouging. We said this on the show. The problem is that you got to understand, people. Yes, I understand bread and butter issues. But you know what's really bothering me? Y'all really think that Trump gave you guys stimulus checks? You really think that? And I'm like, and I'm sorry to say this because you allowed Trump to say it to a black woman. You allow Trump to degrade a black woman, so I'm going to say it to you. How stupid can you be? How stupid can you be to allow a demagogue, like I said on this show before, to dictate and to narrate he did this for you? He withheld the checks for 3 months, people. 3 months so he can put his name on it. Remember, he was saying, I want to revoke SNAP benefits and give people boxes of food. Like during the Reagan administration, remember that? Guess what? He tried it. He did it. The Democrats stopped them. But guess what? They had a whole boxes of food that they had to get rid of. Remember that? But we don't have no memory. People were saying, "Oh, the gas prices are down. The gas prices." It was a pandemic, folks. People were barely driving. People were barely commuting. Of course, the gas is going to go down. I cannot sit here and believe the percentage of people that voted for Trump and people literally said, "You know what? I'm voting for Trump because he's for democracy." You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. He's for democracy, all right. He sat there and degraded the vice president of the United States of America, called her stupid, called her, I don't know who she is. 1 minute she called herself black, but then I don't know. And us black organizations that stood by and allowed this damn man to say this. How? That's why I do not give my money to the NAACP. I'm sorry, I said it. Now what? That's why I do not give my money to the National Association of Black Journalists. You call that damn journalist? You invited the damn man in Chicago and you asked them stupid questions and you knew what was about to happen. So, guess what, people? You get what you damn pay for. Wanda, I'm telling you, when I heard the so-called results, when they called the Ohio for Trump, I'm gonna be honest with you. I decided to go to the liquor store and get some night train. I'm sorry. I that's how I felt. I mean, some night train. I mean, I literally was, you know, last time they voted for Trump, I just threw up. This time, I'm saying I'm getting sloppy drunk. I cannot believe this. All this stuff that we talk about rights, human rights, social justice rights. She talked about legalizing federally marijuana, and you still didn't vote. You didn't pay attention to the issues. You was worrying about what the hell this demagogue was saying versus what she was saying. Oh, I don't know what to vote. Don't believe that. Those are the people that don't want to say they don't want to vote for a black woman. That's the reason. The world was not ready for a smart, educated black woman. That is an ism vote. It was an ism vote. You can't sit there and tell me otherwise. Tell me, Wisconsin, you benefited in Ohio. You benefited off the small chip plan, manufacturing. So you're going to sit there and you're going to basically tell me you wouldn't have had a job if it wasn't for Biden? Biden created millions and millions and millions of jobs. And I'm going to tell you one thing that I can agree, but I sit here and I told you about this on the show. And this is exactly what New York is doing right now. Look it up. NewYork Times.com. Look it up. They're sending them back. You're going to wait until after the election to send Venezuelans and them back with an executive order. Well, thank you, Mayor of New York. It's too late. It's too late. Now you're gonna grow some hair on your balls and act like a man, huh? Come on. I mean, I was so disgusted by this because a lot of these analysts sit there and say people was out of touch, people was out of this. No, majority of the not-for-profit organizations today wouldn't have money right now if it wasn't for the Biden administration. Period. Some of you guys talked a lot of stuff, but guess what? Some parts of that was funded by the Biden administration. What he has done for black folks. Well, let me tell you, he commuted sentences for marijuana. He's the first president ever to fund historically black colleges and university. And guess what, people? I'm type 2. Type 2 diabetes. Every black person that I know have somebody with type 2 diabetes that have to use insulin. You know how much before the Biden administration, how much insulin costs? Hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Sometimes it was $600 or $700. Now it's $35. And then you're going to say they wasn't relatable? Are you kidding me? You're paying $35 right now. Now what you're going to do when you pay for insulin now? Because actually it's coming up for renewal. What you're going to do for opioids addiction? And guess what, people? That was free. To get methadol, that was free, ladies and gentlemen. Now what? It was an ism vote. It was sexism. It was racism. All the isms that you can think of. Whites, Hispanics, white women went in there and had a plan. And that plan is you can still vote for Trump and vote against what the state is doing. That was their plan all along. Now receive phone calls saying, Roman, do you know about this text about somebody coming for me to pick cotton? I don't have Social Security. And that was a national thing. How can somebody get away with that? How can Elon Musk, whatever in the hell his name is, Musty, whatever, get away of paying people millions of dollars to vote for Trump? How? I just don't understand this. We're supposed to be a democracy, right? Let me tell you how stupid this is and how idiotic this sounds. You voted for a 37 convicted felon, and he can run for the United States of America. And guess what? If you're an ex-felon right now that voted for him, guess what? You can't get a job like that. He can. So basically, when his term is finished, you can run for president too. You can be a convicted murderer and you can run for president. What is the solution to that? There is no way that if you're convicted with any type of felony should be on a job application right now. No way should that happen. All the legislators should take that off and make it mandatory right now. Take that off your application right now. I tell you the truth. It made me sick to my stomach that people would sit there and say that, oh, it was because of the economy. The Democrats didn't know how to relate. That's BS. They just didn't want to vote for a black woman. They said blacks had they turn with a black man. What makes you think we're gonna receive an international people? International. Do you think Putin want to take directives from a black woman? Yeah, he's racist too. Do you think the guy from Ukraine that we helped so many times with his racist butt? And guess what, people? Remember the first time Trump got impeached and Lewinsky had the goods on him and they said, can you testify? And Lewinsky said, that's between y'all. And we're helping his ass over there. I said this multiple times. It ought to be only one president, not two. He should have been charged with treason. He should have been charged. There's no way that a man should be calling international leaders and you're not the president. All right. I think I'm ready to receive some phone calls right now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. One is shaking her head, but I can. Give me a call, 708-223-8953. Let me hear your thoughts. And I'm telling you, you get on here, I got a trigger finger. I'm gonna hang up on you. I'm sorry, man. That's how I feel. I got some night train in me. I got some Cavassier. I got some Crown Royal in me. So please bear with me. 708-223-8953. Let's hear your thoughts on what's going on. Do you think America was not ready to elect an educated black woman? 708-223-8953. Come on in and let me hear your thoughts because I'm I'm really upset about this. So the number one more time, 708-223-8953. I I I just can't believe people is that naive. That naive to basically say, "You know what? I'm going to make America great again." And we didn't put 2 and 2 to equals 4 and say, "That's what Ronald Reagan said." And when people sit there and say the party of Ronald Reagan, I'm being honest with you. Look at your history, people. Blacks had it rough during the Reagan administration. Had it rough. Drugs, dinginess. You can tell it in the streets. And people say the party of Reagan. I look at the history and I said, no, thank you. The first president of the United States that allowed the police of Philadelphia to bomb a black community. To bomb a black community in 1985. And that was the Republican Party. But a lot of people sit there and say that Trump is our savior. He gonna save your ass, all right. Back to the poorhouse. He's gonna save you. And I know and I understand that people look at it and say that somebody in the White House that got away with doing the black community wrong. And this situation is going to happen again. And a lot of people say, what am I talking about? Well, why you think the drug epidemic was the way it is, and it's still painful to watch in the black community in certain parts of Chicago. Everybody has a family friend or a companion that abused drugs, man. They brought that. And then on top of that, they don't even want to talk about reparations. We had our chance, people. Mitch McConnell sat there and looked this up. Said black people reparations was when they elected Barack Obama. That's exactly what Mitch McConnell. And you want to vote and give a blank check to a Republican Party that says that BS. And I got a word from these ministers that sit here and always yuck it up. Yuck it up. And they take money from the Democratic Party and don't do nothing with it. They take money. They take. And I know some of you, you do the bare minimum. You want to help the community, help the community. If not, step aside. That's what's needed. And then people sit there and say, our leaders, our leadership and our leaders. Well, let me tell you this. The best advice I can give Biden right now, make it hard for Trump. How you can do that constitutionally. Right now, I will stack the court with the Supreme Court, starting with the Supreme Court right now. Will Trump do that? Well, it'll be hard because you know why? Because there's no long recess when he gets in. He needs to stack the federal court system. They stalled, the Republican Party stalled him. And what he should do, he should stack the court. That's what he should do. And I'm just ticked off about it. Biden should stack the court. Yeah. So we got a caller on the line. You on the air? Hello?
Hi, this is Zerlina.
Hey Zerlina, how you doing? Are you drinking night train like me? Are you?
White. I'm doing the white pork over here.
Oh, okay. So
White
give
pork.
give me your opinion. Do you think America was ready to elect a black woman? Yes or no?
I would say no.
Why?
I just think at this moment in time, it wasn't even so much as it being a woman of color. The race was pretty much rigged against her from the beginning, just because of her issues. The policy was barely talked about, and we can agree to disagree.
Well, give me some of the things that she didn't talk about that Trump did or allegedly said.
Everything that had been on people's minds. And, I don't know if people quite understand. I advocated in regards around to, the funding that the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois was giving to the illegal migrants. And when we were out here just walking through the community, me and my daughter, and speaking with neighbors in regards to just getting out the vote, not voting for a particular candidate, everybody, regardless of an issue, wanted to hear her talk about it. Those who are politically inclined, all they can remember was the soundbite of them playing her saying she's just not going to do something for black folks. So when you think about reparations, when she made that comment, that rang in a lot of people's ears over and over. It wasn't just about black folks.
Hold on 1 second. So I'm going to challenge you on that. Did Obama say the same thing when he was running for election the first time?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so why it was good for him to say it and not for her? Because she's the president for everybody now. That's what he said. I'm a president for everybody. So why didn't he get a ding for it and she did?
He delivered a better landing. You know how they make that land the plane when it comes to the conversation? Get to your point and land the plane. She couldn't land the plane to resonate with the masses. I mean, when you think about I'm one of those people. I don't believe in parties. I believe in issues. I believe in what I can relate to. And when I saw her, when she spoke, I supported her not just because of the color of her skin, but to give my daughter a person that she can relate to that looks like her, to give her the ambition and the hope. But when it comes time to the vote of people, we have to vote with what affects us. I'm Catholic. I don't believe in everything that was put out on her campaign. And I'm not raising my child who lives in South Austin to think that abortion is a way out of being irresponsible.
Well, we're going to agree to disagree on that. And the reason why we're going to agree to disagree is because, number one, when I talk to a Trump supporter, name me one black issue. And when somebody sits there and say social justice reform, and I said, show me his 4 years, his social justice reform. And guess what they say? Well, he freed Kodak Black.
And those are the individuals who aren't truthfully connected to real issues and real policy. I'm not a Trump supporter. Let's be real clear. I went and wrote my own name in when it came to the presidential race. I didn't vote for her, nor him, nor Kennedy, which was a spot holder, which took away, 71,000 or 80,000 votes from the state of Illinois. When you think about how things was done, and you spoke about it. When it came to the hoarding of the funding that campaign, that the Democratic Party put out here, they gave it to the selective few who chose to sit on it. When you put money into the communities and you see Timmy, Tommy, Bobby, everybody out here making a couple dollars, because most of the time that's when most of our ex-offenders get a chance to make real money, political campaigns.
But they wasn't out there. The problem is the fact is, and I'm sorry to interject. The fact of the matter is that people, these ministers, these organizations, they had the thousands, the hundreds and thousands of dollars. They had it. The problem is that they sat on it because I didn't receive no Kamala Harris literature. Did you? I didn't get no. I didn't get no yard, but they had yard signs. And I'm just going to name him. Don Harmon had yard signs.
But that's not my senator.
Exactly. The problem is, why did they do that? Why they didn't like knockety knock? Who's there? We get your ass out and vote. That's plain and simple.
Because I honestly believe, and I'll just end it here, that Illinois knew how we would vote here in Illinois. They knew we would stay blue. At this moment,
It doesn't. No, it doesn't matter, because you know why. I'm going to be honest. When you hear talk about flipping red and it resonates, let's think about this now. And it resonates. Somebody has to have common sense. You got to look at it. Remember, back in the day, I would even say 4 years ago, when 7 o'clock hits, you hear NBC and that trumpet, doom, 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 doom. We call Barack Obama for Illinois. It wasn't even 7:01 yet.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to Kamala Harris, I was like, they didn't even call Illinois for Kamala Harris yet. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? The problem is, I feel some of the people in the Democratic Party are their worst enemy.
Yep. And you hit it on the nail.
And let me comment on the abortion. We're going to agree to disagree on the abortion issue, because you know why? There are people that take advantage of the system. That's whatever system that you have. You're going to have people taking advantage of it, no matter who you are, what color, what race, or anything. That's the state of society. But when it comes to a person that has complications because Black
Of
women,
course, of
black
course.
women totally should have said, you know what? Black immortality rate is astronomical. They have a 50-50 chance of living. There are some black women out there that spit babies out like they're chewing tobacco.
Hmm.
And there's some that has it so have it so hard of having it because of their health. And when they do produce, they have to have the abortion. And even though the state of Illinois is not like that, there are plenty of states that are.
Well,
Now,
let's just be thankful. Let's look at it this way. Let's be thankful because if we look to the Illinois state elected officials who are pretty much all majority black representation, when we think about our health, our taxes, our expenses, our life, be thankful that we do have a governor who just recently made those comments that he's going to stand up and he's going to fight. He's going to make sure that we continue to get our federal funding. He's going to make sure that our
fight for
clinics stay
what?
open.
Fight
He's
fight for what? What you're about to make me say something that I'm going to regret. What Pritzker is about to do, and Trump has the pen is mightier than the sword, people.
we let the billionaires fight it out, but at
Um,
least
But
he's
but
willing to
but
fight.
he but let me put it this way: you cannot get. He already said it. If you don't abide by his rules, you're not getting federal funding.
Hmm.
That's exactly what he said. So
Well, then
we're
when
going
will
to say,
Kwame
but
Raoul finally do his job to push his feet and his
you're talking
agenda?
about lazy ass Kwame Raoul. Are you
Well, we
serious?
elected him too. We elected him too.
So so basically, we elected a lazy ass Haitian. That's what you're saying.
Ah, wait, hold on, hold on. Let's not throw. Let's not throw. Haitians under the
I'm
bus.
throwing because
Let's
you know
be
what? No, no, no,
honest.
no, 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 no. I'm throwing because you know why I said that? Because he ought to be a damn shame of himself as a Haitian man and his people out there in famine. And we got a Haitian consulate here, and they didn't do a damn thing about the Haitian migrant situation here in Chicago. They didn't
I
say
love
nothing
listening to you.
about, let me tell you something, and then I'll get on Mayor Mohawk too. Let me tell you, when the $105 million hit, the African consulate wasn't on the list, the Haitian consulate wasn't on the list, and they knew it. And they didn't say a damn word. Only thing they got is is a resolution to say, hey, it's Haitian Day. So
And we allowed that. And we allowed that as Chicagoans as well. If we're going to fight for one race, we should fight for all.
that's exactly what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. But see, I have a problem with the Haitian consulate, and the reason I have a problem with it is because it's like this. They refuse to get on the soul train. What I mean by that, Zerlina, what I mean by that, we're saying, come on aboard, come to our community, come on. Don Cornelius is waiting for you. Come on aboard, right? And they like, yeah, we're gonna wait and stay on the north side. You know, oh, we're gonna stay on the north side.
It's a Haitian population on the south side of Chicago as well.
Yeah, but let me put it this way: the north side is doing them wrong versus the south side.
Every community that is black is being done wrong. Let's be clear. We don't have grocery stores. We're still food deserts. Let's be clear. If anything's going to be about a race, look at our schools. I pay for private education. I live check to check to make sure my child gets the quality education that she deserves to be the best that she can be. When you think about everything that's going on in all these elections, it all starts locally. So we can keep talking about the presidential race. You still have what? 250,000 Chicagoans, Cook County residents that did not vote
Yeah.
for school board candidates, for representatives, for everything. I went out to vote to make sure my congressman, Danny Davis, got my vote. I went out to make sure that my state representative, LaShawn K. Ford, got my vote. I went out to make sure that those that I know will stand up and at least say something that makes sense to me got my vote. You got people who sit here and will listen to your show and listen to everybody else's show who still sat on the couch and didn't vote.
Yeah. And let me find those people who they are. And I'm going to name their names, trust me. Because I yes, you can sit this out. But you don't have a right to complain. You don't have a right to even talk about issues because we allowed a demagogue. Like I said before on my show, he will say and do anything to get elected, but once he gets elected, oh, it's his show. And what scares me the most, and this is what the night train talking, it scares me that this man is about to put an executive order that to do away with elections. So your aldermen and all of them, your state representatives nationally and federally and locally will be show and tell.
Well, most of them just collecting a check anyway. So when you think about our local elected officials in the city of Chicago, if they pass a property tax that's going to already be a burden on the working poor for a party that claims to be for the working class, what else is left for us? What else? We walk away from our homes that we work so hard to maintain and to upkeep.
But that's Mayor Mohawk. Remember, he promised that he will not tax. Remember that, right?
And remember what I told you then, and I will stick to it now. Know who you are voting for.
And this is the saying, F around and you'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're finding out on a local level. When we sit here and we continue to talk about the presidential election, if that really affects my household at this point in time, I know that locally what affects my household, garbage being picked up, rats running around through the community like they pay property taxes, illegal immigrants who got grocery bags bigger than mine. What affects me is local politics. And if we don't start pushing the vote as a party and as people, we will find ourselves in worse spots than ever before.
Yeah, you got to start locally and then move up to nationally. Thanks a lot, Zerlina. I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
No problem. Like I said, we can agree and disagree and be friends at the same time.
Love you and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Come on, give me a call, 708-223-8953. We got a couple of minutes to go, 773-223-8953. Oh, 708-223, thanks one, 708-223-8953. Give me a call so we can discuss. Was America ready to elect a black woman? My answer was no. And it was an ism vote. 708-223-8953. Come on, give me a call before we start wrapping things up. I let's talk a little bit about the abortion issue and the migrant issue. I truly think the migrant issue, and I said this plenty of times. The migrant issue could have been resolved by a stroke of a pen by Mayor Mohawk. Uh, an executive order. Same thing I would say to lazy ass Raul. The reason I called him lazy is because when you look back at our attorney generals, the last one we got, I love me some Lisa Madigan. Woo, I love me some Lisa Madigan. Man, I love me some Lisa Madigan. She will go to work for those seniors. You do one senior wrong, she will come after you. Do you think they will do that to Lisa? Lisa wouldn't allow it. We need to stop having yes men in these high places, regardless of what race. We need to stop it because we're at a state that is going to start becoming detrimental of our civil liberties. Come on quickly, 708-223-8953. Um, let's get a chance to talk. I see you guys got some comments out there. I see Feisty Williams out there. Thank you for commenting. Um, the abortion issue, a lot of times it is a catchy issue, but as a black man, I don't feel comfortable. I can talk about it, but I'm not in a perspective. Let's put it this way. I would prefer to hear that from a woman and her views because they go through it. You know, they go through pregnancies. They go through abortions. They go through miscarriages. They go through that. So why should I comment on something that I don't experience? And that's not in my DNA. So I'm going to shut the hell up because it's none of my business. We got an incoming call. Um,
Comment for Roman.
yeah, go ahead. We got 3 minutes.
Oh, I got a time limit.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You on the line.
Okay, I just want to say you have to remember that this is America. For one thing, in any election, whether Kamala's running or whether Obama is running, you still have to keep in mind that this is America. Another thing that we have to remember that there is no such thing as a white race biologically. You cannot find it. There's no such thing. It was created, and it was created as a source of power. Okay? So they just showed us in this race when a source of power get together, what happens? And they put that power together. Trump didn't talk about issues. He lollygagged. He talked about he basically degraded Kamala Harris. The things that he talked about didn't make any sense. The only thing that he kept saying over and over again was, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" And I think that resonated with a lot of people. I think that stuck in their head. You know, it's like watching CNN. When you watch the news, they keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Like in a good song that you listen to, you keep hearing something repetitious and it sticks in your mind. And that's what happened. And that's how the election was lost. And you got to remember, America is still racist and always will be.
Do you think they was ready to elect a black woman?
No,
Why?
no.
Just simply no.
Listen, do you know that in the United States of America, women outnumber men? We outnumber men. You got women that didn't vote for her because they've been brainwashed. This was about women's rights. We're all equal. We're all equal. Okay? We're all equal. But if you take a woman and you brainwash her to make her think that she's not equal, and you got some of them that are, they will do the opposite. And when Mark Cuban says Trump hangs with a group of weak women, he does. The women, I'll say it, the women that voted for him are weak. They have no spine. They have no goddamn backbone.
All right. On that note, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's going to do it for us on the Drive at 5 on intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station. Thanks to the one and only executive producer, Wanda, who's the executive producer today. Earl's behind the scenes. You guys have a wonderful week, and I'm going to get some more Night Train. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.